But right now, Shebahn is back with us for a bit of this.
Probably not the right guy for this, but who the hell cares? Has anyone seen Ali McCoist, Gordon Ramsay, Ibrox, teddy bears all over the country? Marty Pello, AC/DC, Lulu, Broxy Bear, Barry Ferguson, the Loudon Pub, the famous trophy room, Gaza, Ali McCoist again, Alistair McCoist. Your tomb took one hell of a beating. What an absolute nightmare for Rangers yesterday. Second tier, Queen's Park produced one of the biggest upsets in Scottish Cup history, beating Rangers 1-0 at Ibrox to advance to the quarterfinals for the first time since 1983. The first time they've beaten them in 143 years. And last time they beat them in the Cup was 1882. I'm sorry, but that's an incredible stat right there for Philippe Clement. Not a good one, eh?
I've been trying to look for if we've got Ali's landline number.
Where you at?
He's not answering his phone, his mobile. Can we get his house number? Just ring it.
No,
until he answers.
We asked if anybody can spot Ali McCoist. Do let us know. Somebody actually, Ray, has said, I've just delivered flowers in all sorts flowers in Camberley. From the Dutch wholesalers Flower Vision in Southampton. I can tell you Ali McCoist was not hiding in there. So,
do you know what though, Jeff?
He'll be keeping his head down.
I went to the Old Firm game last year, and I think one at Celtic might have won 3 or 4. Mm-hmm. And on the way back in the car to the hotel, the taxi man had on local radio. They weren't happy. I'd hate to listen to that radio channel last night, Jeff. They were not happy, was they?
Yeah.
Well, one of the biggest ever humiliations, isn't it? And it was a story that had everything, didn't it? Because Queen's Park had one shot in the game. Mm-hmm. Not on target, they had one shot.
Rangers had 29.
And they scored with it.
Yeah.
29?
29.
And, of course, Rangers had a penalty in injury time, and Callum Ferry in the Queen's Park goal saves Tavernier's penalty kick. I mean, you couldn't make it up, could you?
Unforgivable.
But Clement must be under. I mean, he's been under pressure all season long, hasn't he, Shebahn? He must be under. He says he won't quit.
Well, you're right about that, Jeff. He was asked post-match about his role.
A few weeks ago, or the last weeks, everybody says, yes, everybody sees the evolution this club is making. So, again, out of the emotion, taking decisions and turn everything around, I don't think this is what this club needs.
He was asked about stepping back from the job. But one thing is sure is that going into the game, there was a lot of belief, and it felt like a lot of fans were behind Philippe Clement. You know, they've got to the knockout stage of the Europa League, but they're 13 points behind Celtic in the league, and now their worst ever cup defeat at Ibrox. There's one job when you're in charge of a club in Glasgow, and that's to beat the other half.
Yes.
And he's not looking too promising at the minute. What do you think happens next?
Do you think, though, the Europa League run that they've been on saves him in a way? We talk about Ange and maybe Rangers because they're doing well in Europe. If they're out of that, for instance, then you're saying like he's got to go. But I'm sure recently as well he was allowed to bring in a coach. I'm sure in the last month he's brought in a new coach.
I mean,
as well.
Ali said it sitting here, Jeff, that there has been that turnaround, hasn't there? There have been that little bit more faith and better performances. I mean, of course, they had beat Celtic, of course, in the last Old Firm as well. But this is an embarrassment for them this morning.
Kept him in the job.
I think you're right.
13 points adrift of Celtic is totally unacceptable. Losing at home to Queen's Park, even in the sort of circumstance that it happened, is totally unacceptable as well.
I've been there sometimes though, Jeff, and you've lost against a team in the lower divisions, and you're just after the game, you're just like, got your phone and you're like, you're so nervous to even go into the car. Them Rangers fans must have been fuming after the game.
It can get toxic when things like that happen. So we'll see what happens.
Especially when you're in a sort of goldfish bowl of a city like Glasgow, and Celtic fans, they've had one of their greatest weekends ever, haven't they? Laughing at Rangers.
Bayern Munich in a few days. In the Champions League for Celtic, and then your rivals are losing to second division team.
Listen, pure pressure cooker environment for those managers. We see it here in the Premier League, but when your job is to beat the other side,
exactly,
and now they've crashed out the cup in this fashion, it's not good for Philippe Clement.
By the way, I mean, look, great credit to Queen's Park.
Of course, credit to Queen's Park. Always,
because you know what happens in cup games. I mean, in lots of countries, but in Scotland, it should have been just a question of how many, shouldn't it? You know, if they'd come away with a 3-0 defeat or 4-0, they probably thought that was okay.
Well done.
That was what we expected, you know. But to go away there and win, absolutely amazing. And God knows, Callum Ferry, he'll never have to buy another drink in his life, will he? You know, saving a penalty in injury time.
Ali McCoist will, though, whenever he's ready to answer the phone. Ali, we're waiting for you.
Alistair
Your fans are
McCoist,
waiting.
where are you? If you spot Ali McCoist anywhere, let us know where you.
talkSPORT Breakfast, waking you up Monday to Friday morning from 6 a.m. on AM, on DAB, via the talkSPORT app and on your smart speaker. talkSPORT.